Hello friends and fellow gamers, it's MKxJUMP here, and today's video we're not going to be talking about idle heroes necessarily, but instead we're going to be talking about you, players. There's lots of different ways you can play idle heroes, and there's lots of different styles that suit the many different people that do play this game. I mean, the game has over 1 million people that like it on Facebook, so it must be doing pretty good, right? There must be a lot of people that play this game. But as I'm sure you know, lots of people play this game in exceptionally different ways. Whether it's how much they spend, whether it's the heroes they choose to build, or whether it's the areas of the game they choose to focus on. Today's video, we're going to be talking about these things, and potentially theory crafting which area of the game suits you the most, and also if you're new, what kind of playstyle you might want to pick up. So, let's get into today's video. Now before we kick off today's video, I want to give a shout out to OG Anime Fan, who has decided to back me on Patreon this week, so big thank you to you. And as well, if you guys do already back me on Patreon, I've added some new tiers as of the request of a few of you users. As well, there is now a Discord chat exclusive for Patreon users, so if you want to get on that, guys, maybe consider backing me on Patreon. And it's a fun little chat where we can talk about more personal things that aren't just to do with idle heroes, or if you want to outreach to me, it's a quick way of getting in touch. So that's available for you guys if you choose to back me on Patreon. Now, enough about Patreon, let's talk about the game and the different players that play idle heroes. If any of you are regulars to the idle heroes community, this first type of player should be very well known to you. The whale is the first player we shall discuss, and the whale is a term that comes from poker. Whales buy everything, every value package they can, everything they can do to make sure that they can maximally complete events. They just hoard and spend loads and do it again and again and again, and they are scary. You will see anyone who's a top contender in the arena is most likely a whale because they have spent so much money that they just have far more resources than anyone else playing the game. Now this is fine if you can afford to spend it. And I would break whales down into 3 different categories because of this. First, there's megalodons, people with absolutely insane amounts of cash to spend on this game. They buy everything they possibly can, and you just can't stop them because they will. They will buy and buy and buy. They will get new heroes the day they come out, maybe even 2 E5 copies of heroes the day they come out, because they can, because cash is no limiting factor on their lifestyle choices. And that's fine if that is true. Stepping down, we have hobbyists, which are again a type of whale, individuals who play this game because they love it and therefore are happy to spend their money on this game. For them, it is like going on holiday, or it is like collecting a desirable object. Because for them, they can afford to spend this money because it's what they choose to spend their leisurely money on. They're not trying to juggle multiple hobbies at once and can't afford it. Idle heroes is their hobby, and therefore that's where they put their cash. This, again, is completely fine and healthy when it comes to spending your money. If you haven't guessed already, though, there is an unhealthy way to be a whale. And this is a very serious kind of whale, and this is a problem. Addicts. People who are genuinely addicted to playing the game, and they're genuinely addicted to having the new stuff as soon as it comes out. They want to spend as much money as they physically can. Not that they should, but they literally will spend right up to the wire. They will go into debt. They will borrow money to make sure that they can get the latest stuff. Just like people who are addicted to anything else in life, such as drugs, such as alcohol, will spend and go into debt to fill this addiction. Gambling addiction is a serious problem, and it's people who suffer from this that most likely will fall into addiction to idle heroes because it uses the same psychological tendencies that gambling does. If you buy this next thing, you could get this, or if you buy this, there's a chance you could get this. And then they incentivize you to spend more with the whole VIPs mechanic. They show you that if you use all of these resources, you get this one fancy hero. And then you're like, well, I need that fancy hero, so I'm going to spend all this money. And then you fall into the trap of addiction. And if you genuinely do suffer from addiction to this game and you think that playing this game is becoming a problem for you, there are people you can get in touch with. For each of your countries, there are helplines that you can call. Just type in on a search engine addiction help, and there are helplines everywhere for you. So guys, genuinely, you don't have to be a victim to your own addiction, and often the first thing that you can do is just admit to yourself that you can't afford to go on like this. For example, I was contacted by a guy only this week who has asked me to take his account off him because it's too expensive to maintain and he is scared that he will spend more. That's a perfectly fine thing to do. Get help, because it can be dangerous. So be careful. If you can't afford to be a whale and you live in the whale lifestyle, you might need to stop. The second type of player I want to talk about is a more casual spender. The monthly card user. Individuals like myself, like more established whales who have now sunk back and avoided their whaling tendencies. People who now only spend $15 to $20 on the monthly card and maybe a few little things as and when they come up. These people take the value of the monthly card, get those gems in every month, and use it to give them an experience in the game, which is okay. These people are usually VIP 3, 4, 5, often VIP 6 maybe if they've been around for a while, or even higher if they originally had some whaling tendencies early on. These people will enjoy the game because they get the extra boost out of it. These gems allow them to buy things such as heroic scrolls from the market every day, or profit orbs whenever they're available, and it lets them complete events with much more consistency, and therefore they can keep up with other people who choose to play in a similar style. And there are lots of people out there, myself included, who play in this style, and it's a fun way to play the game and not feel like you're lagging behind, but definitely gives you something to strive towards, because you have to look forwards rather than think, what can I get right now, but invest with your gems and try and make some fun progress. So that's the kind of way I would encourage people to play if they want to get into spending in the game, but by no means you don't have to spend at all. And that brings us to the third kind of player, the free-to-play player, which many of you sitting at home are, and it's often younger people, people who can't afford to spend money on the game, or people that just quite frankly refuse to spend money on a mobile game because it seems like quite a silly thing to do. If you sit back and look at your decisions and go, yeah, I'm literally buying pixels, you have nothing physical to hold on to for your cash, that a lot of people just go, no, I'm not spending money on a game on microtransactions, forget that. And sure, I mean, people outcry against big companies that are game publishers that encourage microtransactions. I'm not going to point any fingers, but you know the companies I'm on about. And they just don't like that, and they're against it, and that's fine. But often free-to-play players will find that their progress is slower, that they're locked out of particular kinds of content or items, such as artifacts which can only be bought with cash, and the experience is a little more slow. However, as a free-to-play player, find other free-to-play players and jump on this challenge. Compete amongst yourselves. One big psychological trap in Idle Heroes is to compare yourself to the people who spend absolutely loads of money and then go, well, why aren't I making that so much progress? It's because you're not spending money. It's that simple. And people that spend money get rewarded because the game is designed around making money. Any games company is going to reward the people that spend. So don't be disenfranchised that other people are more powerful than you. Just be confident and comfortable in the fact that you don't spend any money, and you should feel good because of that. Now, where you put your hard-earned cash is not the only way that defines how you play. There's lots of other ways that you can think about the game. These tactical decisions often define playstyles as well. So the first tactical type of player I want to talk about is the power gamer, otherwise known as the min-maxer or munchkins, people who absolutely eke every little advantage they can out of how they play. These people will sit there with notepads and papers and work out the perfect way to get their 6 stars and where to put them. They'll calculate the number of 4-star heroes they have and then go in particular directions to make sure that they can maximize their progress. This is good. This is brilliant, especially if you're a spender, because tactical spenders are people who spend their money only on what they need. You'll save money and oftentimes make more progress. When I was VIP 6, there was a guy I knew who was VIP 9 that I beat and was better than because I was just smarter with my game decisions. Now, these individuals that are min-maxers want to maximize their progress in different areas of the game to maximize their rewards so that they can snowball. So basically you want to get as advanced early on so that you can get higher up the arena, get more rewards for being higher up arena. You want to get Seal Land in as early as possible so that you're getting all the 4-star shards you can from Seal Land. If you're going to spend, you do it early to get your VIP rewards in quick and then maximize your future progress with monthly cards. Min-maxers do idle heroes in a clinical and clean way. And often it takes you to go and make an account and then realize a couple months later that you've done it wrong and then start again to really become a proper min-maxer. I try to encourage min-maxing habits, such as in my video, How to Build Your First E3, where I tell you that you need to focus on one 10-star and lots of fodder 9-stars that are in the same class as that hero, because you're min-maxing your guild tech. And then, when you get to a point where you're ready to build an E3, you've got a 10-star and a load of 9-stars, you can instantly use as food to squish into that one hero to make them E3 straight away. This is clever gaming, and it makes you progress come a lot quicker. However, it's not intuitive, and therefore what I would like to call vertical builders, people who build their heroes in vertical ways, meaning they focus on one hero early, it doesn't really sit well with the idle heroes ethos of collect all the cool heroes and have loads of fun. It's like the opposite of Pokemon. It's like trying to complete Pokemon with one Pokemon. It seems weird, but that's how you should be thinking to play your early game. So that's what I would like to call the min-maxer. Next, we have another kind of tactical player, and these are people that are scared of spending resources and scared of not being able to complete events. They're hoarders, and we've all been hoarders in our time. We'll often make a spending mistake or not be able to complete an event because we didn't have enough stuff, and then go into lockdown mode and go, I cannot spend anything. There's some things which seem obvious, like don't spend profit orbs and don't spend heroic scrolls outside of events, but these people take it to a whole other level. They never open their 4-star shards or 3-star shards. They buy hero copies and never use them unless it's heroic miracle. They're just exceptionally careful. They will never fuse more than they need to in the fusion events that they get each month because they're too afraid that they won't be able to complete again. Now, hoarding on one level is amazing. It's brilliant. It makes you definitely complete events. For example, if you're saving for anniversary or you're saving for Christmas, you're going to have loads of heroic scrolls. Often you want 2,000 to get the maximum rewards, and these people do it very well. If in a sense, they're event min-maxers. They just hoard everything, and it works. But you can go too far with it. You can actually cut your own progress because you're not min-maxing. Mentioning their min-max, you need to do the minimal amount of stuff to maximize your rewards. If you're saving, you're max-maxing. You're going too far. So be careful with your hoarding because you might actually stop yourself from making progress. And often if you look at my Account Doctor series, I give hoarders a smack on the back of the wrist and say, look, you're not making progress because you have all this stuff that you need to use to then make progress. So often I just have to log in and do it for them, but sometimes you got to drag people kicking and screaming to make them make that progress because they're stuck in the hoarder mentality. So watch out, compulsive hoarders. I'm watching you. Next, we have the complete opposite of hoarders, Mr. Twitchy Fingers. Often it's excusable. You'll come home from a night out of drinking and then go, oh, look, I've got a 7-star quest, boop, and you'll complete it, and then you'll get really annoyed that you don't have any 7-star quests to complete the monthly event that comes your way. But guys, there's a worse way. It's people who spend their scrolls and orbs as soon as they get them. They unlock all their hero copies straight out the bag as soon as they have them, and then suddenly realize they can't complete Heroic Miracle, and they can't complete the Heroic Summons event. And they've got no Profit Orbs left for Profit Orbs event because they just didn't know these events were a thing, and now they've got nothing left and they've wasted a month of progress because they spent all their stuff. And it's often in people's first months of playing, they make this mistake because they didn't do their homework. So if you're watching this video, good job, you're doing your homework. And please, I pray, do not become a Mr. Twitchy Fingers, because Mr. Twitchy Fingers will spend and use everything the moment they get it. They will get their phone and just boop, 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 because there's stuff that I could get this. And that's always dangerous. Just because you could get something doesn't mean you should get something. It's like seeing that a 6-star hero could be made to 7-star and going, ooh, that might help. Not necessarily, because you could use that 6-star to make another hero 8-star. Because if you've got loads of 7-stars, you can't really make much progress at all. And if this is all going over your head, go watch some of my earlier videos in my Mastering Idle Heroes series where I explain the progress of heroes. Again, I'm going to look at that video, getting your first E3, okay? Be careful, guys. Just make sure you're saving for events and doing enough, because if you're a Mr. Twitchy Fingers, you're going to fall into a progress recession. You might think you're making early progress, but you're just hurting yourself in the long run. Next, we have the just for fun, the casual gamers, the people who just go, you know, I don't care about tier lists, I don't want this, I just want to have fun. If I want to build Ice Blink, I'll build Ice Blink. If I want to make a Petrify meme team, I'm looking at you, Barry Gaiman, I'm gonna do it, because quite frankly, it's fun, and I don't care. I literally couldn't be bothered whether I had an Ada or not. I just want to have this cool hero because they look cool. I want to make a whole team of honor guards because not dying sounds fun. Even though you won't win any fights, you won't lose any either, right? So, just for fun, players, it doesn't matter how much you spend. You just do it because you enjoy it, and you make the heroes you want because you can. You don't care if it's the right decision because you're having fun. And often, a lot of people forget to do that when they play. If you become a clinical Munchkin that just wants to make sure they can get the most out of the game, it can begin to suck the fun out of it. If you start doing it and making it a job, it's not fun anymore. Unless you do genuinely enjoy the pleasure that min-maxing can bring, a lot of people just don't have time or the patience for that and just want to go, no, forget it. I just want to be cool and chill and have a nice time, and who cares if I don't log in for 24 hours, because I don't care if I missed some progress. Who cares if my campaign loop overflows and I can't get any more, because it's just a game, and I enjoy it. Who cares? And it's good. It's good to be like that. You know, I mean, it'll annoy a lot of people. You get people triggered on Reddit 24/7 if you go in and saying, you know, I think this is a good... Yeah, ignore them. Haters are going to hate. Have fun. Moving on now to another kind of player. This takes the just for fun to a whole new level. Mad scientists. People that do things because they can. And not, I'm going to use my profit horse because I can, but I'm going to just do this absolutely ridiculous team because it looks like a silly thing to do. I'm looking at people who build mim cheese teams, or just build a hero to ruin someone else's day, or just create the weirdest concoctions of heroes because they go, well, you said to do this, but I think this could be better, and fuck it, I'm going for it. There are people out there that have made some fantastic and innovative discoveries just by being silly. It's not silly for the sake of being silly, it's mad scientist, min-maxy, but also I'm going to be a little crazy and try this because on paper it seems like a good idea. I wonder what it's like in practice. People like Whacker, for example, who just have been holding on to Emily for so long, and like, Emily is a great hero, right? And it's because of people like this that we look at heroes that often don't get built and go, actually, yes, this hero can do good stuff. People that think, why don't we run Michelle with carry? Because there is genuinely a reason to, even though Michelle is traditionally not that great. Well, believe it or not now, Michelle with carry, it works. People who build multiple mims because mim cheese is still relevant, especially now interdimensional arena's a thing. There's lots of silly things you can try in the game, and all you need to do is find one lowly person who's quite experienced from Reddit and Discord and start talking about these things, and suddenly you get a very dangerous discussion going on. And often I've seen these discussions unfold on Reddit. 9 times out of 10, you don't recommend it. But just because it's that situational thing that came up for them and was relevant, they went for it. Mad scientists, we love you. You make the game more interesting and more innovative and make team building fun. Now, our penultimate type of player are coasters. And these are a different kind of just for fun. Maybe it isn't even fun anymore. They just log in the minimum amount of times they can. They're like, right, I'm just logging in because 10 hours ago I did my campaign and now I need to log in again because my campaign's now full. Oh yeah, I need to sign up for Guild Wars. Oh, I'll just do it at the last minute. oh yeah, I should probably make sure I'm collecting my rewards for this event and do everything last minute. Oh yeah. You know what I mean. People that just play, they kind of maybe even lost the enthusiasm to play, but they still play because it's become part of their habit and routine. This is fine, and often a lot of us will go through these dark periods where we can't really enjoy the game as much as we used to, so we coast for a bit. And maybe it's a rut you'll be stuck in and quit the game, and that's often what happens. Some people begin to coast, and then they leave, or maybe they don't even log in for a week, and then they pop up out of nowhere. Sometimes it's just necessary for people to coast. Other times, it's a complete cardinal sin, and if you log back in and find out you've been kicked out of a guild, then sorry, that's just sometimes what happens. But coasters exist, and they're everywhere. If you make a drastic change from whale to coaster, you can really shock people. Like, you suddenly go, wait, where did this guy go? He was spending so much. Like, it happens, it's fine. You just got to understand that sometimes Idle Heroes just gets boring after a while, and some people don't really want to commit the time to it they used to. Let them do that if it works for them and their lifestyle choice. Now, the final type of player we have, this is the type of player which I imagine lots of you will relate to. It's the specialist. Someone who goes, what's the best in PvP? And what's the best in PvE? But never crosses them together. You're either an absolute hardcore PvE player who wants a big scary team, or lots of Garudas, or maximized Heartwatcher and Sigmund and wants to get as much out of PvE, Broken Spaces, Seal Land as you can, or you go the complete other way and go, right, Heartwatcher's rubbish because she's only PvE used, right? I don't care for Sigmund because he's not good in PvP. I just want the best PvP heroes. I just want to ruin other people's day in player versus player combat because it's fun. I don't care for killing big bosses. I just want to ruin my best mate who's also on my server. It's fine, right? If that's where you want to play your game and that's where you get your fun, go for it. Be a specialist, specialize in one area, and say bully to you to anything else. You can go ahead and look at a hero that just doesn't have a reason to be in a PvE team and just go, yep, I'm going to use them as fodder because screw it. I don't need this hero. And if that's the decision you've made, that's fine. Just be careful. If you are a specialist and you want to switch across to become an all-round player who does PvP and PvE, you might find yourself a bit in a pickle when you realise you foddered all those Amon-Ra's a while ago, or you decided to get rid of Tara because Tara didn't seem quite that good at the time, and now you regret it. Be careful. Sometimes it's not a good idea just to specialise. But if that's how you want to play your game, I'm not going to judge. So there you go, guys. That's my list of different players in the game. If you relate to either being a whale, a monthly card user, free to play. If you're a min-maxer, Munchkin, or power gamer, whether you're a hoarder, or even Mr. Twitchy Fingers, please drop a comment down below and get in touch. Whether you play for fun, or a mad scientist, whether you just sit back and want to enjoy the game for what it is, and log in when you feel like it and don't care if you miss it for 24 hours, that's fine too. Or maybe you just want to focus straight in on PvE and say bully to you for PvP. Again, if that's how you play the game, that's good. But drop a comment down below, and I'm sure there's lots of you where multiple ones of these personality traits will resonate with you. It's fine. You could be a min-maxer that specializes in PvE that spends on monthly cards. That's cool. That works. And I'm sure lots of you will have different combinations, and I can't wait to see them. So, drop a comment down below, and if you like this, guys, hit a like on the video. If you disliked it, leave a dislike. If I forgot a type of player, why not leave a comment down below and let me know? If you want to see some more of my content, you can find it on the side of the screen here, and if you want to be like OG Anime Fan and back me on Patreon, you can do that too. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. I hope to see you soon. Happy idling.